Hi, this is Kim Watson, Trader. Welcome to a video update on Wednesday, the 21st of May. Just a quick reminder before we get on to looking at the markets. Charlie's CDs, the MBT swing trading, the offer that was made on those ends, I think, in about 24 hours. So there's not a lot of time to take advantage of that original offer. And just a reminder for those people that are purchasing or have purchased it or are about to purchase it, there will be a webinar on the 28th. You'll get your invitations sent to you shortly. So it's next Wednesday, I believe. 28th, next Wednesday. So there will be a webinar for you guys. Of course, we'll record that so you can see it after the event as well. So you can watch it if you get the date discs late and you haven't had a chance to go all the way through. But it's the reason we've put the dates as they are is just to give you a chance to go through, because it'll make sense if you've gone through the discs by the time you get to the webinar, and hopefully traded some of it beforehand. Right, so pound dollar then, we managed to get a breakout above these our upper bands here this morning. It's a bit more clear and move up there towards those sort of areas, still potentially heading up to that 1.7 area. We've seen, the news that have just come out today is, it's been quite relatively bullish on the retail sales again there. The retail sales are moving, and there's the sort of the rhetoric in terms of the potential housing bubble, etc., which we could just see, the double tops reached if not pushing up to the 1.7 itself. So looking at the weekly chart actually of the pound, you can see we had the little spinning top last week. We just about pipped the highs of that, I believe. So there is the potential for it to push up. Now, if it closes up at the end of this week pretty high, well, it'll put us possibly it'll continue pivot swing sort of pattern in there, which could see us even break those highs and move further. So there's some potential for some further highs. And if you see the next previous high is sitting just above there at 170.58 sort of area. Okay, that's the pound dollar. At the moment, it, as I say, remains relatively bullish. Momentum's just died off on this retracement, but it wouldn't take too much to get it back to the upper side. Short term, if it does stall and cannot make up to the double tops, I'll just be looking at for the overall this overall trend to be broken if we break the lows of the 15th there. Right, okay, the euro dollar. Again, looking at this time frame here, problem we've got at the moment, really, for me, the picture is bearish. We're in this sort of just consolidating pattern, and I'm relatively bearish from this daily point of view. But we are just sitting in a very chopped pattern, and then when you look at this sort of bigger pattern we were sitting in, and even come out to the weekly. We're in a very tight range. Now, we see with the euro, and you've seen it time and time before, it can sit in ranges for quite some time. When you look at the ranges of January, February time there, or January particularly, it was just sort of sitting in a slightly expansive range, but not going anywhere. And it really is stalled, or really has stalled somewhat with the overall range there. But as I say, for me at the moment, I know it's towards the bottom of this little near-term range, and we're sort of seeing some support of these areas. But it could topple downward from where we're sitting at the moment. It's my sort of favoured. The momentum's still strong there. We've done the double tops at these highs, so yeah, just we've taken these lows out. There's a certain possibility we could continue that way. The 200's sort of been sitting below us, and it's been a target we've been looking for most days, and expecting it to come and run down towards this point. Now, it has been hit before that 200, I believe, so it's just a target in terms of where price may come back down to. Looking at dollar yen, and we finally I've got all sorts of trend lines sitting on the dollar yen. It's finally come down and sort of effectively almost double bottomed on the February lows there. Now, it still could have. We're breaking these. There was another sort of low section I had here, which had been flirting with around this 101.30 area-ish, It's sort of gone through, come tested, closed below, and then hopefully, or say hopefully, will possibly will close below that now, and then there's the potential for some continued downside, maybe strengthening some more. The rhetoric from Japan is relatively positive in terms of the growth, etc. So we could see, as I say, that strengthen as the dollar meanders along without direction. Okay. Oops, sorry. Let's get the chart back on. There we go. Okay, dollar yen. So from a daily perspective, we've just seen it coming off. I mean, this is really reflecting the strength of the yen versus not only the dollar, but obviously the euro here, and euro's consolidation. It's taking full advantage of that coming off. Still looks bearish. Looks like that 200 could be a target. Daily 200 would be a target to the downside. There's just potential for it to come back down to those prior lows as well. With the thing that I'm looking at here is that we are sitting there right down at the S2 at this level here. Possibly could get down to that these lows here, which would kind of correspond with around about with the S3. But generally, in normal conditions, we sit between the R2 and the S2 so frequently. Well, last month was such a range-bound month for the euro yen. The pivots are quite pinched, so there's a possibility it will come down to that S3 at some point, but as I say, at the moment it looks relatively bearish. Momentum is quite strong from a daily perspective, so could see a continuation there. Let's a quick look at the gold, what it's doing, and you can see pretty much here from a daily perspective we've gone into this very tight. Actually, I'll draw it on just using this pen here. We've gone into quite a tight looking range, sort of wedge sort of pattern here, and really it's almost anyone's guess which way it's going to go here, because it had a nice move up but pulled off a little bit there. If it had been attached to this move up and whatever else you'd expected a bullish outcome for this, but quite a difficult picture in terms of trying to decide on where it's going to go at the moment. It could just consolidate, tighten up in here. The thing is, if it breaks either way. We can get the trouble with these wedges so often where they haven't got clear direction. If it moved up and it's more like a flag pattern with the price and moving up like that, you can say, well, there's a better chance for the upside. But the trouble is, when it gets like this, it can break out and then just find resistance at these different levels of highs, or it can go to the lower side and find support. So it makes it a little bit more difficult to get the picture in terms of more direction. So at the moment, very consolidated. Watch out for any big moves, and we do need a really nice news story to move it $10 or so, $10-15 to get it out of this range, and then hopefully we'll get a continuation. Okay, that's it for me. Hope you have a great day, a great week. I'll be back next week. As I say, remember the MBT swing offer comes to an end within 24 hours, and the webinar will be next Wednesday at the 28th. Have a great day. Bye for now.